exchange, that would be not very good. But yeah, Annie, a champion that not exactly safe in solo lanes and side lanes. So as you said, like Scout is going to be very exposable this game. This does put a lot of pressure on ppgod and his pick, specifically because, you know, you need something that'll not only A, be a good pairing, but B, make an impact outside of the lane phase. And he's a guy that has really struggled to make that sort of impact in Split 2 specifically.
I wonder if this is also just going to become a pairing with Renata. I feel like this is a really good Renata game. If you know that they're going to try and dive, they're going to try and burst you out, take the Renata. Yeah. Maybe you try to go for something like a Braum as well, depending on what else you see from the bottom lane. So we're finally back to the point in the draft where we did not see. It's going to be a Lulu ban, so they're already mentally preparing for the Zeri Lulu. I like them already taking that and snipping it in the bud.
Yep. See what this final ban is going to be from NIP. They take out the Ornn. I actually very much like that. I thought that that would have been a solid enough option. Alice played a lot of it. Really helps their team fight. So good stuff here by NIP, at least in the second half. Now, we'll see what JDG wants to have for their fourth pick here. Shen could be quite interesting here. Would be a great buffer for your Kai'Sa when she hits the backline. In an insta-lock Tristana.
There we
Renata
go.
That you called out too.
All right, I wanted to see either the Sivir or the Tristana. I get the Tristana, and I get my Renata. I mean, you took a look at side lanes. I think if NIP get anywhere, any like 2 or 3 grubs, you are very, very much like excited about their chances in this game. Galio in a side lane, though, I do have to wonder what this matchup into the Annie looks like, because Annie should never really be able to solo kill him, even early on, once he has access to that magic damage shield. And then you're thinking, where's the actual damage coming from this NIP team? Because Aki's going to go forward. He's not going to have very many targets. There's now a Rakan that's going to stop him as well. This feels like for NIP, all the eggs are in Leave as a carry, as this hyper for the Tristana. He needs to go 1v9 on this kind of champion. And early on, Tristana will not have that damage. On 3 and 4 items, though, she beats almost every other marksman in a 1v1 duel.
Yeah, you have to bridge the gap to actually get there, though, right? That's where Aki is going to have the game on his shoulders. Having an impactful early game, making sure that he is at least matching the Vi, or he's making the play first to ensure that NIP are either getting kills or not getting killed. The problem is, any of these solo laners that get it, sure, if your Yorick gets the kills, you're probably okay with that. You know, Doinb on Galio, he's not really going to be enjoying that kill goal too much. You're not going to see that much of an impact. I struggle to see a world where they get goal onto Leave without gross mispositioning by JDG, so you might just be playing the waiting game.
Oh. For JDG, it is very simple, right? Like, you have champions that are going to be able to burst through these front lines.
Go forward.
I think that the having the Shen as well makes it very interesting, right? Just having that ultimate makes it easy for a Vi, for them to stack and layer crowd control alongside the rest of this team. I feel like Kai'Sa has a really easy job this game. And kind of in terms of priority, I do expect for Ninjas of Pyjamas, as this game goes on, to have an easier time. Any lane that Leave is in, he will be able to split push or just constantly get mid priority in the mid game. We'll have to see. It's game number 2 here. JDG win this, and they are locked for top 4.
On the other side of the coin, NIP desperately trying to fight out of the basement of the LPL right now. Again, an outside chance to move up, to get 8th, fight, get side select, but again, we knew going into it, it was going to take a Herculean effort, and already down 1-0, not having access to that Annie on Doinb. It's the Leave show once again. See the Leave of enormous girth on his shoulders. He holds the earth.
Why did we get that coffee pasta, man? I was not ready for the turtle meme. All right.
It's a good one, though, man. It's a great one. It's classic.
I just think it is one of the very few times we're allowed to use the word girth on stream.
Yes! Yes!
So. All right. Junglers starting on the top side of the map. They're going to be pathing down. We'll see if Aki does any funny business yet again on this Pantheon. Has an option to head down bottom lane, especially for this 2v2. Should be expecting them to be dueling. Tristana very early on has a lot more damage than her counterpart, and we can kind of see that both supports not taking anything too aggressive. It's double heal here. Agreed.
Yeah, we actually managed to say it twice, which is 2 more times than I really thought, to be honest. We'll see. Well, I'm really interested in this early jungle pathing from Shun. I think it's more likely that he is just going to do the normal thing, farming on Vi and hitting 6. But again, this guy has just been so good, and especially what he did in the first game, you have to wonder if in the back of his mind he's going to look for any little advantage that he can get to kind of speed bump Aki.
Okay, I got really worried. I mean, there's possibilities here. Allah's going to get a ward on his top side, and he'll know, like, okay, there's no camps here. He's going to be on the bottom side of the map, so they know that he's clearing down. There's also an early ward around this banana brush going into Shun's jungle that did see Doinb get spotted. So they have an idea as to where Aki is, and don't think there's going to be too much to work through. He still has 2 more camps to finish, and another, like, there's still more waves here. I don't think there's going to be much going on.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It just feels like we're going to chill out. JDG is going to hit 6, and that's where all the fights are going to start. The first objective where everybody on their side is 6, save for obviously like Peyz, right? It is going to be a really big one to watch out for. So we'll see if an IP are able to kind of speed bump anybody on JDG. Is on the top side. Allah continuing to go for trades on the solo kill here. Shed is so strong.
Yeah. Shed is strong. This matchup's also very difficult for Yorick. If he gets hit anytime the Twilight Assault comes out, you are cooked. That item, or that ability, does a lot of damage. I like this from Shun. Knows that he could be on the bottom side of the map. He's going to try and trade. He has priority from his top side. I mean, hell, I tried for this too. Aki being very smart. Let's see who wins the Smite War.
All right. Oh, Shun will just end
You're
up
playing
backing
against
off
Pantheon.
of it,
It's pretty
actually.
tough.
Yep. The back off won't be able to get that one. Does link up with Scout as Doinb wants an opportunity to take it back here. Looks like he'll just be able to settle for the bottom crab. And again, keeping things a little chill here as Doinb TPs into the mid lane.
You know, I just noticed something. Both of our mid laners opted for Phase Rush, which will mean that Scout won't have the same level of burst of like a Summon Airy or an Electrocute, but I mean, just having that mobility to make sure that he doesn't get set down. If they step over, if this wave ends up hitting, I feel like Shun could come over, but he'd still have to wait for his Vault Breaker timer. And I think they recognize they don't have a ton of damage from this bottom lane duo. So, a good job coming in from NIP. They're applying pressure in all the right places, I feel.
Yeah, the only one where they are having a little bit of trouble is that top side. So Lucas still has his flash, so it's not like things are, you know, horrible or anything like that. Scout's been able to stick around without having to burn his TP yet, so that's nice and positive for him. Though he is starting to get a little low in the mana department, and he missed that Q, so, you know, come on.
Yeah, I mean, look, if you're just farming with Q, it gives you permanent uptime, right? Like, it just gives you all the mana back. You can just very freely farm. It's one of my favorite changes that they made to a champion, LeBlanc, with her Sigil of Malice.
Yes, bro. Oh,
I think they needed to make that a long time ago, but...
Did not know you were a LeBlanc enjoyer, my friend. I feel like we
No, I just read patch notes.
Oh, okay. Well, you said
Yeah.
you liked the change, so I thought you were a LeBlanc enjoyer.
I feel like I play a little bit of every champion, mostly because I have to, but also because playing AD carry is notoriously incredibly boring.
Yeah, it is
So
how it is.
being able to play
sometimes.
every role, being able to play a little bit more is good. It gives me an excuse to play League. But we're seeing, you know, an early game state that doesn't have all that much going for it. I mean, now we're getting in a rotation where the bottom lanes are going to show up in the mid lane just to prioritize, at least for JDG. They could say, okay, we could play either side lane and really splitting Doinb up from one side of the map. So now that Galio is going to cross onto bottom lane, I feel like JDG are going to feel more inclined, especially with more of Shun's camps ending on the top side, to go for those grubs in 2 minutes time.
Yeah, and that'll allow Peyz to get a little bit of strength here. He went and called in a recurve bow. Meanwhile, on the other side, Leave's got a BF sword. Something you have to be very, very careful about dealing with. Shun is actually going to show up on the bottom lane. He's going to look to make a play on the Doinb. They're going to drop down Tibbers as well. Double taunt coming out, but Doinb doesn't have anybody to jump to. Tibbers burning him away, and he's forced to flash out.
That's that phase rush, baby. He does not get out of there if he doesn't have that much MS.
Nope.
So that was very clever from him getting the taunt plus the Justice Punch to proc it. Still, yeah, like you said, does have his flash taken away, but Galio has enough mobility that I think he's not too hurt about it. And this is going to be the Dragon now being started here.
Uh-oh. The minions, the maiden, the shields, the slam of the shovel, and first blood to solo kill.
Hey, look, he's pulling off his namesake. He had a D-shield and a cull, and he makes that happen. As soon as he hits level 6. Incredible stuff from the new top laner of Ninja's Pyjamas, a mid-split substitution for Shanji. And he has, I think, really proven himself and kind of earned his spot here already.
Yeah, and if you thought he hadn't before, with that play, he manages to get the job done and earn that spot. He's going to come back with a phage, too. Meanwhile, NIP were able to secure the Dragon on the bottom side. Now we have 30 seconds until the Grubs. Let's take a look at this replay.
He's played 17 games in the LPL this year, and I think he's already proven himself that he definitely deserves to be on at least a top 10 team at the very least. And the Maidens are just cooking Ala. He was supposed to be winning this matchup, right? Like, he was doing it early. He was bullying him. He literally had a full item over him. It was Tiamat versus D-Shield and Cull. And solo kill with the Maiden just ends up finding him there. That's a huge win, not only in terms of a plate going over, but also, I think, relieving pressure and at least preventing JDG from making another play with their Shen ultimate.
Uh-oh, here comes Scout on the way down, and Shun is going to have the Shen come through on him, and they're going to make a play onto Aki. Galio coming in, as Aki will secure the blue buff. The triple taunt is out. So is ppgod coming through as well. Missing, only landed the taunt onto one after the handshake. Leaf flashing away, going on missing. The Tibbers came down to try and stop Leaf. Meanwhile, the fight's so broken, Ala is going to be able to dash out as well as Shun. And somehow, some way, it's a 1-for-0 in favor of JDG.
Look at the summoner spells that were used. Almost everybody using their flash. Aki, Leaf, ppgod. On JDG side, it's the flash from Shun and Scout. That's a huge investment, and now Shun is trying to steal away at least one of these grubs. He'll get it. Solo Kill's going to come and check. He's going to just dash over this wall. Pantheon is already back in the area, so it'll be 2 grubs going over to NIP. A decent win, I think, even though they had to trade a kill for it.
Yeah, it's quite good for them. You know, credit to Shun to wisely go and at least take one of them away, try to take any split pushing power out of Yorick that you can. Take a look at this replay. They saw, you know, this blue buff going on. Shun positioning well here. I like the idea. Just felt like Scout was a little too far away.
I feel like Scout really bungled his ult here. Because, like, look at how he starts this, by the way. I don't know why Scout is even trying to dodge this. Who cares? Kill Aki already. Scout made a massive mistake. Aki played this about as well as he could have, all things considered. With him getting engaged upon from Fog of War, he wasted so much time of JDG's, and all in all, it is, again, all of those summoner spells, but NIP at the very end of it, they still are able to grab 2 grubs, and Aki still gets his blue buff, because he smited it in the middle of it.
Yeah, credit to Scout. You know, that ultimate should have been used earlier, as you pointed out, but still had good application in that fight. It felt like Leave would have really been able to pop off had he not at least been speed bumped and forced to cleanse. So, no, not the worst in the world, but it could have been much cleaner for JDG. And puts them in a weird spot now, right? Because giving away 2 grubs to this Yorick, who very clearly right now is getting the better of all.
Oh, yeah. And then it doesn't get any better, right? Because if Tristana ever gets alone time in mid, if for whatever reason Peyz or whoever is supposed to take over in this lane gets chunked out, alongside the explosive charge, he basically just raises turrets. And that is not what you want to be seeing coming out from JDG. So, NIP going to have to continue their winning ways for right now. I think they're still okay with the spot that they're in. Seeming like they want to try to pressure Ala under this turret, maybe get a single plate for solo kill.
Yeah, really hoping to do so. Of course, with the Demolish procs, solo kill will be able to deal big damage to turrets. Not able to get him close. Shun was there to back him up, but outside of that fight that occurred at the blue buff hasn't done a whole lot. We might see more in about 55 seconds because that's when the second dragon of the game comes up. Still waiting for Peyz to really get online here. He's got all of his components right now, but still doesn't have a completed item. Meanwhile, Yuntal finished for leave.
I don't know. I feel like JDG might feel like they're pressure to fight just because they
Yeah.
have stronger kits. Like their champions are just naturally stronger even without their items. But they're so close to finishing some of these. I mean, you have a Malignance potentially on the cards here for Scout who will have access to his teleport, but not having your completed item in mid,
Okay.
oh god.
Yeah, where do you go for the play? It was a solid enough handshake, but leave will bleed out. ppgod cannot help him enough.
He didn't even get to buffer it. He didn't use his or I think his charge got stopped in the middle of his jump, so I mean, Leave gets caught out. That's a huge win for JDG. Usually it is impossible to try to find Tristana, especially because you have a Renata right next to her. Alla knows, well, hell, they're not going to play for this dragon, so I might as well just back up. I might have to just give this entire turret to to NIP, and that'll be at least one dragon going over.
Somehow, some way, Lee finds a way to die in some really strange situations. Love that you pointed out Solo Kill doing his thing, almost 1,000 gold lead. Right now, it feels like JDG don't have an answer to this guy. We're seeing an IP walk up here as it shouldn't. Decides he wanted to take a Q in. Missing will get stunned, take a little bit of damage, but nothing more than that. As it looks like these teams are fishing for a fight, Leave is going to engage onto Peyz, and he's going to get knocked up himself. What a flash by Shun as well. And the feats of warfare go to JDG, and Peyz once more out of the fight, but he goes right into a taunt, into a knockup, but he's got Alla to help him out. Flash taunt lands, but the ultimate from ppgod means that nobody else can follow up Alla. The Blasco knocks Doinb off to the side, but JDG cannot push further, and Solo Kill gets the turret.
Hey, we'll take that though. NIP, they put a lot into that top lane. Solo Kill now. On this Yorick, he is so far ahead. I mean, he now gets to probably finish his completed Trinity Force here, alongside having a Cole almost completed. He is very far ahead at this moment, and we can take a look back at this replay. Leave, just thinking that they couldn't reconnect. I mean, if anything, Leave needs to be going down towards the bottom side so that he can get ppgod to use anything on him. Maybe if even ppgod uses the ultimate, there's something there, but I don't know what the hell is going on with Leaf. He's now been caught out twice on the mid wave. The first time I could maybe excuse, but this one's tough, man. Like, you force that, and immediately JDG punished with a snap engage onto the Trist.
Yeah, and we talked about how important this Tristana is going to be later on in the game, and that's just so much downtime on these kills. He hasn't been able to stay on the map and get a lot of gold. You know, now he's down to Peyz in gold. This is a big worry for NIP. You went from being like, okay, we have Solo Kill and we'll have Leave later, to Leave getting pushed back more and more. It opens the door for JDG's composition to just work and win a huge mid-game fight or something.
Yeah. Look, Tristana's still going to be able to scale. He hit his first item, so he'll have the Yuntals already probably stacked up by this point, and he will get closer and closer to having, you know, his 2 and 3 items, which is a very, very big item combination for Leave, especially if he gets something like a Navori Flicker Blades. He's going to basically have permanent uptime on any of his abilities. So, and the rest of the game is all not that bad, right? Like, Shun is just up like over 600 gold. Galio's always going to be more relevant in a game, especially just his base kit. So, it's going to be tough for Scout to really find too much advantage here. You kind of see this. I think the big thing that I'm noticing right now is the experience differential. See this play onto Alla.
Alla with a nice taunt there, and Galio is going to come in as well to try to help out the rest of NIP. And Shun realizes, I cannot help you, Alla, but he goes in on the backside here, trying to take down Aki. Heals up a little bit, manages to find the kill. ppgod and Missing going to meet each other here, and Shun is going to get back onto the turret, but gets flashed on and taken down by Solo Kill. And now Missing is stuck on an island here. He gets taunted next, but Doinb dies to the turret.
Wow. That was really well played from Missing. This is why his Rakan is feared, by the way. He was basically on like a 27-game winning streak on this champion at one point in the league. Unfortunately, it was broken this year, but he is really insane. He's one of our original Rakan goats here in the LPL. So, while all that was happening, though, with 2 members from JDG dying, they did end up grabbing a turret there for Scout. So, With Doinb falling as well, I feel like the mid lane shift is starting to happen. Aki as well giving some of those kills. We're already starting to see, look at Leave by himself. Almost took this mid-tier 1 completely on that first charge, but is unable to do so here and continues to try to get himself back into this game after some errors.
And we'll see. That turret will, it's highly likely to go down eventually, maybe in some sort of potential dragon scrap, as the Rift Herald has been started up over on the top side of the map with the dragon coming in about a minute. Solo Kill is going to show up down to the bot lane and finish what he started and take down bot tier 1. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Peyz getting hand shook, but he gets big. Shields and Scout comes in over the top as well. And JDG, all of them just show up to the party. And Aki goes down too. It's a 2-0 for JDG. They have the Rift Herald and they're ready to try to break this game open.
You said it was a hands check, but for who? Peyz didn't even use any of his summoner spells in that. He just walked up, he took damage, he's like, I know you do not have any deeps like that. My team is right next to us. Hell, we get a freebie here. Solo Kill respawns, or resets, gets himself a completed Spear of Shojin, but Peyz and the rest of JDG just got paid with that Rift Herald and that play.
Yep, and this is what you needed, especially because the side lanes haven't been so great. And as it turns out, sometimes it's okay if they engage on you.
Dude, this ultimate, alongside just having the Shen, right? Like, that Killer Instinct puts him right out of auto-attack range of Leave. This is crazy stuff, and the Shen, I feel, just over the top, making sure that Peyz does not go down. He has been, by and far away, the most consistent member for JDG, and from the very beginning of this year, all the way back in Demacia Cup, even when JDG were a bit slower, they were a lot weaker of a team, he was already starting to show those glimpses of not missing a beat from his time on JDG. Peyz has been really impressive.
Flash taunt all the way over there. We're going to try to go over the top with Aki as well. And he dodged out on Scout's stun. Scout will go down, and NIP make a quick play on that Annie.
How much more can they get, though? They're losing access to mid. NIP will be able to grab themselves the dragon, but there's really no stacking. We're at 18 minutes, and this is their second dragon for the Ninjas of Pyjamas. They lose another mid wave. Solo Kill right now is 3,000 gold over his opponent at 19 minutes. We literally just saw this in the LTA with Fudge versus, it was Thanatos and Whippo. That was a crazy matchup. This time it's on the Yorick. I don't know if he's going to have necessarily the same level of impact as a Renekton, but, I mean, there's not very many, like, mobile carries from the side of JDG, and he might be forcing out ultimates from someone like Peyz or even someone like Annie. You're going to be throwing down the funeral rites, the Dark Procession. You're just going to be like, okay, well, either you're Killer Instinct or you're dead.
Yeah, and if he gets off a nice little flank where maybe JDG are a little too preoccupied, could cause a lot of havoc in a fight. Do need to keep in mind, though, that because of how fast JDG's comp operates, it's going to put a lot of pressure on Solo Kill to get to places really, really fast. Or he has to split push the game away, but it's so hard to do against a Shen.
Yeah. I mean, he's still taking turrets, though, right? Like, he's getting global gold for his team. He has, obviously, a large gold in his back pocket, and I think the global gold is kind of what's helping Doinb stay relevant in this game, and especially for Leave. He's just having to pick up table scraps at this point. So, it's going to be the Otacon spawning on the top side of the map with Kaisa and the Vi. Feels like it is very easy for JDG to just take this kind of objective, and especially with them having priority in mid, they basically can just keep bouncing between this wave and playing around this topside objective.
My goodness. I hate Yorick. I hate playing against him.
Oh, we're teleporting for this. Hell yeah.
Guess who hates Yorick too? JDG, as they show up and they're going to throw everything at this guy. Nice dodge of the taunt there, so Ala is forced out. Just going to try to buy as much time as he can, but NIP can't really get anything on the other side.
Okay, that's a kill though. NIP are just now getting back to their waves. Doinb's pushing a top lane wave, which will just be answered by Annie. So that's exactly what JDG needed to do, and part of the problem with the new season. I think if you were a split push fan, you were really excited about Noxus, because every 3 minutes there was a fight. You could just say, hey, look, I have 6 grubs, I'm pushing on the other side of the map. But with how slow the game is now, with the objectives going back to every 4 and 5 minutes, it just feels like when you're split pushing, you only have about like 45 seconds to a minute before an objective to really get any split done. And because he only has 2 grubs, he doesn't actually have that much of efficacy when we're talking about hitting turrets. So
If hold on 1 second. Ala trying to juke out here as he could find himself in a little bit of trouble, but he does have the option to go over the wall, which he will. But yeah, your point about split pushing is so right, man. It feels like the only thing that you can really do when you're split pushing is try to catch someone in transition. And that requires your team to be super coordinated about it. Speaking of super coordination, Otacon has been started up here. Missing is trying to make sure that members of NIP stay away. Are looking to take this one out. They do. The teleport is coming in. Here comes Aki. He's knocked up over on the side. Shun going all the way in over onto solo kill. Meanwhile, Ala tanking up a lot of damage. Here comes the ultimate from Renata, but an immediate cleanse from Peyz, but he's forced away. Leave's gonna hop in. Peyz drops his ultimate, and they manage to find him anyway. Peyz and Missing are so good. Scout with a stun on the backside means that Aki will bleed out in the bush, and ppgod will fall too. That is an ace for JDG.
They only lose Ala, and goddamn, man, I want to watch that replay again because Missing played that fight incredibly. Very few of the summoner spells used from JDG. They get the Otacon, they'll grab a top lane tier 2 as well, and they absolutely dominate NIP in this game number 2.
It is so sad to see Leave just collapsing under the weight that the team has given him. He is just not making great plays this game. But somebody who is absolutely Peyz and Missing. Missing, as you said, 3 taunts.
Yes, he stops he stops Aki from getting onto Peyz. He even is able to stop Doinb's ultimate from going off, and then Leave flies forward. He tries to miss out on the dodge. This is the part where I was thinking, okay, he's actually missed out on those plasma procs, but the final Q, ppgod not in the area. We have seen this lack of coordination time and time again between ppgod and Leave just in this game alone, and not being able to find that bailout means that NIP have 0 chance in this game. They have no proactive side lane movements. Solo kill, unfortunately, is not going to be able to split enough before this game becomes untenable for NIP.
That bailout, it could have made this a different game, Alk Battery. You know, Leave would have maybe been able to get a reset after the shield fell off Peyz, but not to be had. Down on the bottom side, JDG making their camp set up in the bottom jungle. They take out bot tier 1, they're going to take out the dragon next.
This is just clean. This is exactly what we need to see from NIP, or from JDG, I should say. A very dominant game against, again, a bottom team here in the league. But I didn't want any kind of maybes around JDG coming in, and they're just going to absolutely wreck solo kill. He actually escapes with a dark procession and a flash. Very well played for him to be able to survive.
Yeah, they got the nade.
Even pick out Shun.
Okay. Hey, you know, Baron's up in 28 seconds. I don't think this really means a whole lot there, but it's relevant. We'll see how desperate NIP elects to get.
That turret has like 1 HP, man.
You could blow on that turret
really
and it would fall
to have
over.
that, man. It's okay. Someone, Tristan is just going to come over and auto-attack this again. So we get to see how Shun died here in mid. Oh, he just walked into... All right, well... Sure.
We've all done that. We've all done that. We've all gone in, dropped the ward down, immediately get jump scared by 2 enemies.
My fault.
Everyone's done that.
Yeah. All right, NIP, I think they are feeling what you're putting up here, Yanni. They're going to start up this Baron. They've got a 2-item Tristana, but Peyz is incredibly fed. There's a Stand United. Shun is only just now leaving the base. This could be their objective to take.
Yeah, they're going to even commit the full teleport out to Stand United. Here comes the ultimate from Renata over on the backside. They're going to go set their sights onto Galio right now as Doinb will be able to get out. The Baron will go over to NIP. Missing on the backside, maybe looking for a cheeky play. Doesn't have his ultimate, knocks up Leave on the buffer, but shoots him back, but Missing will survive. Now Shun looking for a little bit more. He's going to target out Leave, and Peyz gets in there too. And they find a kill. A nice cleanse for Peyz, and over on the other side, Ala with the taunt. Scout over the top. Missing, and Peyz still alive. Take out Aki. Ace NIP. Who needs Baron?
And it's a clean one at that. Nice Baron power play for NIP. We'll see you in the next series after this because it is just complete domination here. JDG chase them off of the Baron pit. They get even more kills for themselves. Now they're just going to have a full court press. They can even play for the Dragon in 3 minutes time. I mean, there it feels like nothing can go wrong here for Jindong Gaming. They can have minor errors, but you just look at the difference in the AD carries right now. Peyz has been, and by far, is standing out to be potentially our best AD carry in the league. And I know I have been arguing for leave to maybe be in that top 3, but just every game, for the past like 7 series, man, his positioning has not been it. His early game with ppgod has not been it. And it's a fight where, I mean, hell, they put so much time into Doinb. This was a good start from them, but then just getting chased out time and time again.
Right here. Remember, we talked about Tristana W and how powerful it is. I mean, he just isn't able to get out, and this causes Leave to be a little bit late, and that means that Shun can chase him down.
I think this was really adventurous from Shun. He just immediately puts down the ult. He knows that Kai'Sa can fly in. And then the back end of this fight, the rest of JDG working in tandem with each other. The bottom lane letting them handle their business by themselves. Otacon explosion from the Thornbound. Peyz lives just barely. And now you look at what Peyz has. He has a Merc Sim in his inventory with the Quicksilver Sash. So level 16, that Killer Instinct is going to be on a lower cooldown, more shielding, and he has a cleanse in case his Summoner spell is not already up.
Yeah, honestly, if this dude dies, I don't really know what to say. It feels like he's a bit of an unkillable Demon King at this point in the game. You talked about it, Peyz certainly in contention for one of the best AD carries in the LPL. He is certainly playing like he wants that #1 spot.
Yep.
Aki gonna try to protect against a lot of the damage that's getting put down by Scout, by Peyz. It's just so hard. They're getting squeezed so badly.
Well, let's see how they put the finishing touches on this game, man. This is exactly the JDG I needed to see, dude. I'm ready for this team to take over here in the league. I want to see them play competitive series versus top esports. We even got that earlier on a couple of days ago. That was one of the best series that we got here in the LPL just from a gameplay level. So Yorick back to split pushing, finally is able to grab themselves a top lane tier 2, but Dragon spawning in 40 seconds. Leave has now hit 3 items. This is a massive break point for NIP. I know they're down a massive amount of gold. It is 6,000, almost all of it in right now Peyz's control and Shun. But Solo Kill needs to be a big performer, and now Leave with his 3 items needs to be up into the snuff.
Yeah, and they're going to have opportunities, and the big reason why is JDG doesn't really have great siege. We saw them dump all the damage onto Aki, didn't actually kill him, but how many autos did they get on that bottom turret? Not that many. You know, Peyz, for as great as he is, can't change the range of Kai'Sa, well, mostly because he doesn't have rapid fire. But what they can do here is they can go and pick off ppgod. He is so low. Peyz gets to the backside, and he rips apart and forces Leave out too. And the flash taunt onto Aki, and that's what JDG needed. Another big fight win.
And now they'll be able to even teleport and stop Yorick. They can protect their mid-tier 1. I mean, hell, it was a great attempt coming in from NIP to try to stop that. But now, Scout's teleporting. Doinb, you better run, brother. You better hope that phase rush is putting in work.
You can run, but you cannot hide from Peyz and Scout and JDG as they move to the Dragon.
I mean, hell, welcome NIP to the home arena. It'll be a swift 2-0 here coming into the night. And with this win, JDG will lock up a spot in top 4, which means that BLG and Invictus Gaming are fighting for the very last spot for an auto bid into playoffs. That is so important. It means you're playing one less best of 5, and I mean, hell, the 5th place team is going to be playing against the 2nd seed from Group Nirvana, but why even take that chance? Why have to show even more potential games? At the very minimum, 3 games. Why play that and have to eventually go throughout the bracket? Just get your auto bid, be in the upper bracket, so you also have access to double elim.
Yeah, and credit to whoever is going to finish in 5th place, right? I think we're expecting it to be IG, mostly because IG, you know, BLG, ever since the Beishuan pickup, has looked much better. IG has had consistency issues throughout the entire year. Lately looking very, very good. They got highs, they got lows, but still just an incredibly strong team from top to bottom. So we are expecting that 5th place team to be a powerhouse and maybe a big mover and shaker in the playoffs. But again, as you said, why take the chance? Mostly because they haven't played against the Group Nirvana teams. There's just a lot of uncertainty. There's more tape on, you know, IG.
I mean,
BLG
18 best of
than there
3s
is.
versus 5 is definitely more convincing for me to know who's going to win a series.
Oh,
I think
100%, without a doubt.
I think that's completely fair. So
yeah,
we'll see.
I just think there's a
what
lot
that
of
ends up-
uncertainty.
Yeah, sure. There's also a lot of downtime that the Group Nirvana teams, at least from having official stage games. JDG, they're going to finish this up. They're going to take themselves the Baron. This melts incredibly quickly, especially with a 5-item Kaisa. Look at him. He has completed items. He also now has Navori Flicker Blade, so he's going to have every single one of his abilities up that much quicker. Finally, it is a mid-tier 1 falling an objective bounty going over to NIP. But now with the Baron, they should just be... I think they're really... The problem that they're kind of running into is they do have some shorter range champions, so it is very hard for them to siege. They actually need NIP to fight them if they want. Or just, hey, just give them mid-tier 1 or mid-inhibitor for free. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah, why not? Hey, listen, you know what? Scout does have Flash available as well as Tibbers, so maybe that is what they could also use in order to really break this game and end it. They will be able to take out that inhibitor. They are going to go link up with Ala in the bot side and look to just kind of keep things nice and mellow and maybe even get that bottom inhibitor.
Well, the problem now is that this Baron, you see in the top left, that's 213. Top right, 220 for the Dragon. So either the Baron ends the game, or JDG take all of NIP's base, then they move over and grab themselves Infernal Soul, reset and end. I don't think they're going to give NIP that chance. I think they're going to be looking to push on 2 lanes and look to take a 2-0 here in the series.
Shouldn't be that hard, but they have to finish it. You can see already Leave getting chunked out pretty hard as Peyz really just not afraid of whatever NIP is going to throw at him. All right.
It's a zoning ult. It's a zoning ult. He's earned it.
It's a zoning
Missing has
leap.
played this game
It's
so
a
well.
zoning leap. Knock up there. See, all right, we're going in. We are trying to end the game. Peyz cleanses it, gets to the back line, rips the health bars apart.
Baron,
He's got a quadra kill.
Penta.
Run him down! Run him down! Even
Give it to him!
Aki's flashing away. Flash, taunt, penta kill for Peyz, and he earned every bit of it this game.
Finally, they have given him a pentakill. There have been so many pentas stolen by Shun, stolen by Scout. It is finally his to take here. I think this is our 7th LPL pentakill here in 2025, and they have finally done it. JDG, 11-6 now. They have earned their spot in top 4. Now, it's about being able to clinch 3rd here. They are unable to get 2nd in 1st, thanks to AL's record currently. But with this win, and with one more match, they can make sure that they end 3rd seed, which would be a massive boon for them.
Without a doubt. Any more opportunities that you get to potentially keep a side selection later on down the line will be very, very useful. And I didn't really think that game could get much better for JDG, and you know somehow they still managed to make it even better at the end there, giving that one over to Peyz, and they looked really, really strong today. Yeah, in the first game, early on, NIP certainly showed a lot of fight, and they do credit to them. Something they regularly do. But JDG, once they started pulling away, it was over. And in this game, after a slow and controlled early start, they left no doubt early.
Even the slow start was just solo kill performing in a side lane, and then we had questions for this draft, right? We're like, okay, you have this Pantheon and this Galio, but even in the last game, we didn't actually make very many like map plays from NIP. We didn't try to play, a side lane. We didn't have Galio moving on over. All Doinb did was just collect waves versus Scout.
Yeah.
And then Pantheon kind of just sat there and, he was finding some action, but Vi was constantly putting pressure on the map. They were pushing their lanes. Unfortunately, the one part of this composition that needed to go well and unfortunately fell mechanically short was Leave.
Yeah, it was not great. He had a really rough time. And for a guy that NIP put so much on, there have been games where, yes, he has made mistakes at the end of a game, but he's had some really good fights. Today, he just didn't have any. He did not have any good fights. And it is very, very disturbing to see almost, because what does NIP have now? Like, if he's just kind of playing like this and is moving forward, you know, maybe not going to be that player that they can rely on, what do you have?
I know in between the games you were kind of joking, like, I actually kind of want to see them play around solo kill. Unfortunately, solo kill has been he's been gapped by the fact that he is playing top lane, and it is just not like a reliable strategy to like play around top lane with what it looks like. Maybe if this was the first half of the season where we had Gwen and Jace and Mbessa, that could be something that they could do, but not anymore. Sion, Ornn, Shen, Yorick, none of these champions are really like the 1v9 champions that are going to need resources and deserve a lot of resources in that way.
Yeah, and that kind of leaves NIP lost. We kind of thought going into this series and maybe even the end of the year, they could either find a different identity or really like solidify the...
I have been the biggest Leave shill. Every time I come into the show...
Who do you like?
Peyz, man. I like Peyz.
Yeah, I was going to say, I like Peyz too. Look at that damage, man.
Like, for the last 2 weeks, I've been like, okay, Hope has the eye test, but he doesn't really have the stats. Hope has the stats and the eye test. Peyz had the eye test, but didn't really have the stats. Leave had the stats, but didn't really, you know, have the hands, or didn't really like prove that he kind of could have them consistently. I feel like now I just have to drop like, I really want to like Leave, man, but he's having so many games where he has to 1v9 and he just fumbles the bag a lot.
Yeah, he continues to fumble the bag every single time. Even when there's no bag to fumble, he fumbles the bag. Like, that's how bad it actually is, right? And you can only draft so much for him, right? Like, otherwise your team comp is just completely bad everywhere else. So I don't really know how they fix this to make themselves competitive in the play-ins. I mean, we thought coming into today that, hey, you know, they would go, they'd play this playstyle, they'd give them a hyper carry, they'd look competitive, and this would be something that, hey, in the play-ins could maybe actually get out of them. I don't actually think this team can now.
All right. I have 2 potential fixes for NIP.
Let's hear it.
1, Doinb learns how to play Azir. Or there's a recently freed up support that could come in and play with Leave. And his name is Moham.
Oh, man. I mean, it would feel so bad to break up this duo who in Split 1 looked so good, but I mean...
I think I'm ready to see ppgod hit the bench. I think there's been too many games. Even solo kill coming in, right? Like, when solo kill originally came in, I think the community as a whole was like, are we sure it's not Aki?
Yes.
Like, are we sure it's not ppgod? Very clearly, 2 members who were... It was never going to be Doinb. Even if Doinb had like 0-10 games, unless he stepped down by his own volition, this is never happening. He's never losing his spot, unfortunately.
No.
At least it's not imaginable to me. But yeah, I mean, solo kill's been great. Yeah, Shanji was a liability in some of these games, but the bot lane duo is not working, and I, as a Leave believer, think that if he got a better support, this might be different.
Okay, I can see that. So there we go. We love Peyz, baby. But yeah, I think the biggest thing that you pointed out was them being not on the same page when ppgod flashes that wall and is unable to give the bailout in time. Because again, we talked about how that could have actually changed that fight, maybe changed the complexion of the game, because it felt like you really needed to win that fight as an IP in order to actually be alive in this game. And it's a game of inches, right? It was so close. Obviously, we don't know what would have happened, but we can speculate about what could have. What doesn't really need any speculation is who the MVP is going to be.
It should be Peyz. but I won't lie. This could be a missing game. I think he played this game front to back probably as good as he could. There were a few mistakes. Unfortunately, I feel like the mind control of getting a pentakill, the pentakill was not all that impressive if we're keeping it a stack with ourselves.
The rest of the game was, though, right?
Yes, I agree. All right, Peyz has gotten it. Very well deserved, especially for how he played. He will move up now to 8 MVPs, which keeps him tied at 7th with JDG and Knight. I think that's good company to hold. Yeah, 13-0, almost at 200% of his damage, or 200% of his gold in damage. I think that's really impressive. And just showing that he's probably the best AD carry in the league, and his jungler is at the very least top 2, which is that is a very good team to have.
Without a doubt. And even though Scout's not playing at his peak, Scout still, he's got the mind. You can clearly see he makes solid enough plays. And of course, missing on his champions is absolutely incredible. As we wind the day down, we do want to give a big shout out to our Elite Coffee supporters, Aaron, Soup, Mung, and Forest Without, because their pledged financial contributions help level up our broadcast and give back to the cast and crew who strive to give you an English LPL product every day. And if you want to be cool kids like them, you should be an Elite Ko-Fi supporter. But that will do it for us here this evening. We do have 3 days left of Split 2 regular season. Tomorrow morning, night, evening, wherever the hell you are, FPX IG, and then Top Esports and BLG, which will be a banger of a match. Let's take a look at the standings before we dip out. JDG locking that 3rd place spot. Weibo Gaming having that hold on 6th for right now.
Now, and this means tomorrow's series are so hype. IG win a game, they keep themselves in contention. BLG win a game, they keep themselves in striking distance for 4th. And then it comes down to that Wednesday match, final series of the night. Not entire night on Wednesday, by the way. JDG AL, IG BLG. That'll be placing for number 4, one of the most important games we have this week, especially as we close out this regular season. And again, congratulations to JDG for winning, and for Weibo for breaking their losing streak in particular.
Yeah, and looking particularly good while they did it. Of course, not perfect, but solid. JDG, however, damn good throughout the day. And again, we talked about it. It's just nice to have some exciting games down the stretch. So you don't want to miss a moment of the LPL.